This is the Why I Hate and Love Pickleball podcast. I'm Bill Wong. While the return and the serve are the most important shots in pickleball, the third shot drop is the most difficult to master. It's boring. And let's face it, it's boring. It's not an exciting hand fight at the net. It's not a ball that's hit hard. If you leave it too high, your partner or you will get body bagged. And you'll see the streak of the yellow plastic whizzing past you as you flail to get the paddle on it. It is difficult because there's three components of the shot: the before, the during, and the after. And you need 3 or 4 skills to master the shot: your movement, your defense, your reset, and potentially a put away. It took me over a year to fully understand and assemble the skills for this shot. Why is it so difficult? First of all, it's a low energy shot that has a potential for a lot of pain. The third shot drop does not expend a lot of energy. It's actually a relaxed, defensive, and hopefully offensive shot. If you leave the ball too high, it will be punished, or worse, your partner will be tagged. So there's a lot of pain. Beforehand, I target the apex, which is the high part of the arc, on my side of the net. The height about 5.5 to 6 feet high. The ball lands in my opponent's non-volley zone. Stop with both feet so you don't have forward momentum, and wait. For my backhand, I put the weight, W-E-I-G-H-T, on my left foot. For my forehand, I put my weight, W-E-I-G-H-T, on my right foot because I'm right-handed. During the shot, watch the ball to the paddle. Follow through. In particular, it's important for me on my backhand. I have a one-handed backhand to hit through the ball. I prefer a mid-level stroke to a high stroke, approximately from my waist to my shoulder. A 3/4 stroke as opposed to a full stroke that I would normally do in a tennis stroke, which will go from one shoulder to the other shoulder. Next, I like a chest-high ball. For my contact point, on my backhand, I prefer toward the outer part of my left breast. For my forehand, I prefer the outer part of my right shoulder. Since my backhand is a little bit weaker, I like to push off a little bit with my left foot. As I said before, I have weight on my left foot and I push off just a little bit. And I have to make an adjustment if I'm moving backwards or moving to the side, where I want a little bit more momentum moving forward. My backhand, as I said before, I tend not to finish. I don't know why, but I'm aware of this technical error. I really focus on hitting through the ball, and I have to watch the flight of the ball after I strike it. And I'll tell you why this is important. The next step, the after. I watch the trajectory of the ball, and if it's going to land short in my opponent's non-volley zone area, I look to move forward. I want to take a big first step, but not too soon, because if I move too soon, that forward momentum of my weight will affect the ball and make it too high. I think of racing the ball to the net. This was one of the biggest deficiencies in my game, where I wasn't following a good third shot drop to the net. So I race to the net. As soon as my opponent is about to strike the ball, I stop. I set my weight and I get ready to defend. This is when my defensive skills and my resets become important. What I just described were mid-court shots that I have to hit with the third shot. For short balls, usually I'm moving forward, so I have momentum which will affect the ball's flight. I need to make an adjustment. My contact point will probably be lower as opposed to between my waist and my shoulder. It'll probably be below my waist, sometimes near my knees. I usually push or slice the ball so I can hit a good third shot drop. For deep balls, since my weight is probably not set and I'm either moving backwards or sideways, I have to push off with my outer foot. As I said before, if it's my backhand, I'm going to be pushing off with my left foot. If it's my forehand, I'm going to be pushing off with my right foot. And I target the apex a little bit higher because of my momentum. So I'm mentally making adjustments. One of the biggest challenges for me is to remember to visualize the apex on my side of the court so it'll land in my opponent's non-volley zone area. I have to constantly focus and visualize. The second most important issue is to move forward, especially when I hit a good third shot drop. Many times I say, oh my God, I hit such a good ball and I should have been up, but I wasn't. My opponent has to move back, let the ball bounce, and he hits a ball that's not attacking. And if I had moved in to a good position, I could have put the ball away, but I didn't because my footwork and my realization of the quality of the ball I hit was poor. In prior episodes, I discussed movement. These different types of balls require movement and weight control. I practice hitting balls not only cross court and down the line. A down the line ball, the apex is a little bit closer to my side. For a cross court ball, I can think of the apex a little bit closer to the net. As a disclaimer, recall that my solutions might not work for other people. I've taken more than a year to analyze, think about, and determine some of the areas where I'm weak. I have unique grips. I have a one-handed backhand. I have a unique body type. I have different abilities, experiences, and work ethics. This works for me in breaking down each part of the stroke, realizing where balls are optimally hit and where I have the highest probability of a positive outcome works for me, but it might not work for you. You need to take this information, think about what works for you, and make changes. To summarize, there's a before, during, and after the third shot drop. Visualize your apex on your side of the net. Wait and set your body. During the shot, watch the ball and hit through the ball with a 3/4 motion. Afterwards, watch the trajectory, the flight of the ball, and move forward to be aggressive. I like to race to the net and set if I hit a good third shot drop. I like to think of third shot drops as a group of skills. Once you hit a good third shot drop, you need to have defensive skills, such as resets, and offensive skills to put balls away. You can't have a good third shot drop without the other skills. That was a concept I didn't understand. In order to hit good third shot drops, it is very important to practice. For my novel, I've been researching the F-15 Eagle and the F-16 Viper. They're fighter jets. The Eagle is a $50 million plane, and the Viper is a $25 million plane. The best attack and defense system, according to a naval aviator, is a trained and experienced pilot. So too, a trained and experienced player is best. This is Bill Wong. I'll see you on the pickleball court.